Well, it just dawned on me. I'm getting pretty close to the Meadows. It was a long day like yesterday, long night. I did get home roughly when I said I would, around 1:18 is when I backed into the driveway. 1:18, I got home last night in the morning from Ontario. It was worth going over. The horse raced good. Now, unfortunately, not the update I wanted on Victory Blue Chip. He made a break coming off the car last night. Just looked like he was accelerating going into the turn, and he lost him. Will happen. Remember, he wore the hobbles all last year, so this was probably the first time he was asked to trot out of the gate and had no hobbles on. Probably just chewed at himself a little bit and made a break. Hopefully that's not duplicated next time out. Now, he will have one start before he comes to race in the Stallion Series here at the Meadows. And then we'll see what we do with him after that. But for right now, just like to see him improve off of miscue last night. Ready for landing, race great. Drebin, I talked about him, his break, and what we learned from it, and what we expect out of him moving forward. And Texong Soprano raced great last night also. Now this morning, as I said, wanted to get up early. I did. I was actually up at 7 o'clock. Had a shower, and I wanted to get over the barn a little bit earlier. I wanted to go She Sits at the Bar and Memento Mori before I had to train them 5 in the race bike. We'll talk about them. And before I had to come over here, I'm just on time to go last trip with Prince Charmer. So everything is moving according to plan so far today. I went with She Sits at the Bar, 2:15. She was good. I went with Memento Mori. I could see what Joey was talking about yesterday. We did make that shoeing change, and I think that adjustment is where the hiccup was formed. But that's okay. He was fine today. I had him on his toes. He also went a mile in 2:15 very easily, not shockingly. So 2 good training trips, and those were all by themselves. So 2 good training trips today. Then I went the race bike. I went with Delicious Stone, trained him in 2.5. He's ready to go. Unfortunately, we're at 68 days right now to enter, so he'll have to qualify next week. We'll get him qualified next week. Irresistible Sun will be racing next week. I trained him in 59. He was very good last half in 58. Now, I haven't got the update from the vet from the scope just yet, from them scoping the horses that trained, but they all felt very good. Delicious Stone felt great. Irresistible Sun felt great. The only horse that didn't was Vaquero again, a little flat at the end of the mile, and I'm not really sure what I'm seeing. I don't know what's going on with this guy. Not a whole lot come back in the blood of the scope from him last week. We'll continue to work on him and see if we can't get him under control. Pull the Shoes was good. Now, we took the grab off of her. Track was a little deep today. I don't know if I went the right direction in taking that grab off. We might opt... I want to have the vet go over her first. And this is the important thing. I want to get the full picture. You see something and your eyes tell you, what you're seeing, but without understanding... without understanding the underlying problems, to go in and say, just got to change the shoes. There might be more to it than that. I don't foresee there being a whole lot of issues, but what if her knees are a little tight? She needs her knees done, her feet were bothering her a little bit. We need to go back to a flip-flop. Those are things that the vet can maybe shed a little light on later on today. Before I say changes need made, I want to get a full look at the picture today. I wasn't disappointed with her. She went a mile in 59. She probably trotted enough today to win where she's going on Wednesday. So I'm not really worried about Pull the Shoes, but I do want to get, as I said, a full picture of what is or is not going on with her physically before we start jumping to conclusions, saying we're going to change her shoes, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So I wasn't disappointed with her at all. And Purple People Eater also, a mile in 2 minutes, probably as good as expected coming off that tie-up. It's not gone. It's still there. There's a reason we didn't enter her in to go this week. So we were able to treat her and train her. I thought she trained rather well this morning. Now, switching gears. So I was happy with the trainers. The only one that kind of annoyed me a bit was Vaquero. And I don't really know what's going on with him. I think we're going to just have to work him a little harder and see what comes about with Vaquero Blue Chip in the weeks and months ahead. Now, switching gears to the qualifiers, I watched them. These were 4 horses that were starting their 2024 season and what were our thoughts on them. J-Port Beach Boy was not overly impressive to me. I have not talked to Mario or Dominic yet about the horse, but to me, he just looks like a horse that's going to be an overnight condition claimer, middle of the road, non-winners a 2 type. Not really what we're looking for. So if he's not going to fit the bill, he's not going to live up to what we need him to be and expect him to be, then he's not going to stay. Now, as I say that, there is a caveat. I have not talked to Dominic or Mario, so I don't really know what their thoughts were on J-Port Beach Boy. So I'm not going to get too excited until I talk to them. But my naked eye view, the same as yours, and the video he wasn't super impressive to me. So we'll see how that plays out when I talk to everybody today at some point. Winter Bells, it looked like James wheeled her out and she was going to charge forward. And she just kind of hung there like a grape. And that was her go-to move last year, right? She had that one race where she overpowered everybody and looked really good, looked good enough for us to put her in the stakes, and she gets soundly trounced. She just looks like one of those horses that can read the program, right? She knows when she's in with horses she should beat, and she looks awesome. Put a couple of tussles ahead of her in a grassroots or a little stiffer overnight, she's not quite as effective, and we'll see how effective she is. She's going to have to be effective moving forward, or again, she's not going to be staying with us. And 58 or 57 apiece or whatever it was today just isn't enough. She needs to show me more. Now, that was a qualifier, and I get it. We're going to race her. We're going to see what she does in a race, but I expect her to do a little bit more than that. Don't talk about Bruno. A little different speed. This guy qualified with Really Don't Care. I haven't talked to James either. 2-1, 28 and a piece on the end of it looks pretty, but is it going to get him? Is it going to do some damage on the racetrack? I don't know. I know that we're going to see at least another qualifier, I think, from Really Don't Care, and whether Dominic wants to throw one more qualifier at Don't Talk About Bruno will be up to Dominic. But I would hope they'll both do well. Now, Really Don't Care has got New York ahead of her. We just paid her into the stakes in New York. Nothing added, no added money stuff. We were hoping, right? She was one of the fillies that trained down one of our best trainers last year. Did she mature and grow up the way we hoped? I don't know. I know that Harry was happy with her 2 weeks ago at the schooler. Was he happy with her today? I don't know. I'll talk to James about that. So the qualifiers were kind of ho-hum, right? They were okay, little lackluster, so to speak, but it's hard to read into those Mohawk qualifiers, especially when they're going halves and 3 and miles and 2-1. It's really hard to read into them too much. From my standpoint, 4 kind of ordinary looking qualifiers. I want to get a bird's eye view. I want to hear from James what he thought about them. Well, at least the one that he went with. Mario, what he thought about the ones he went with. And then we'll go from there. So that is what took place this morning. Very happy with the prep races for next week. The return training mile for Delicious Stone. Really happy there. The 2-2-year-old, she sits at the bar, and Memento Mori were very good. And the latter part of the morning needs some explanation, I guess, from me. To me, from me. So I'll let you go. Still lots to talk about today. I want to hear if there's any schoolers, what the thoughts were on the ground at Mohawk from everybody else. How our horses raced today at the Meadows, and that will all play out over the next few hours. So I'll let you go. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your weekend, start to your Friday. I will talk to you all very soon. Take care.